Okay, in lesson number 22, we're going to learn about enharmonic tones, which I kind of referred to in a previous lesson, just kind of casually. And then we're also going to learn about half steps, which you already know, but whole steps, which is basically two half steps put together. So, enharmonic tones. If you look at the page, first thing I'm going to do is write our name at the top. Yes, don't forget that. An enharmonic tone is basically when a note on a keyboard has two different names for the same note. So if I took C, here's my C, and I went up a half step, I would have a C sharp. But if I had a D and I went down a half step, I would have a D flat. So this note here, one note has two different names. The name is C sharp or D flat. And it all depends on the music that you're reading, whether you're reading with sharps that go up a scale or whether you're reading with flats that go down a scale. So that's basically an enharmonic tone. And as you can see, every one of these accidentals here have two note names. They have a sharp note name and they have a flat note name. Now that's not all, because whenever you have an E and an F, or a B and a C, those can also have an enharmonic tone note name. So an E that goes up a half step is called an E sharp, but that note is also called an F. An F that goes down a half step is an F flat. Okay, you might see an F flat in your music. It's basically the same as an E. And it works the same way for B up a half step is B sharp, or C down a half step is C flat. Okay, you don't often see an E sharp or a B sharp, but it can happen, and you have to really remember your music theory to remember that a sharp just raises a half step, and I'm not going up to the accidental, the raised keys or the black keys on the keyboard. I'm just going to that next note. So all we're going to do here in number 1 through 10 is name the enharmonic tone. Now you're lucky because I have this keyboard here for you that you can refer to, but if you're really smart, you don't need to refer to it at all. All you have to remember is a D flat. Here's a flat, okay? D flat is the same as C sharp. So if it's a flat, I'm thinking of the letter name down, but a sharp. Okay, so a letter name down from A is G, and it's a sharp. A letter name down from B is A, and it's a sharp. A letter name down from E is a D, so E flat and D sharp are the enharmonic tones. A letter name down from G flat is F, but it's a sharp. Okay, that's pretty simple. Now it goes the opposite way on number 6. When I have a sharp and I'm trying to figure out the enharmonic tone of the sharp, I go a letter name up. So F sharp is the same as G flat. So you can see it on the keyboard here, but basically I'm using two alphabet names, but one is a sharp and one is a flat. All right, number 7, C sharp, if I go up a letter, is the same as D flat. D sharp up a letter is the same as E flat. G sharp up a letter is the same as A flat, and then A sharp up a letter is B flat. So all of those are enharmonic tones. Now on 11 through 20, we are going to draw the notes, okay? And it works the same way. So if you name a note, so number 11 here, if I name that note, if I say B flat, I'm thinking of a letter down from B is A. So I draw an A, but then I have to put my sharp sign. So B flat is the same as A sharp, okay? Sharps work backwards. So F sharp, I go up a letter name. So let me write my F sharp here. What is the letter name up from F is G. But now instead of a sharp, it's G flat. Okay, remember the flat sign is before the note, but after when you say it, G flat. All right, C, I'm going up a letter, so C sharp is D flat. Okay? E flat, I go down a letter. Let me write my E flat. I could start off by doing that. So it's not D, but D sharp. Keep going. Here's my A flat. Now I'm going to go down a letter to G, but then G sharp. So each one of these will have whatever the first note is. If the first note is flat, then your enharmonic tone will be sharp. If the first note is sharp, the enharmonic tone will be flat. The only exceptions are E and F, B and C. We'll see if we run into any of those. So number 16, going up the scale, F, G, A. So here's an A sharp. All right. So my next note, enharmonic tone, will be higher than that. So it's not on the line, but above the line is B. Okay. But that will be B flat. Okay. So I've got to write the flat sign in both places. Here's my G sharp. Okay. It's a sharp, so I'm going up to A, right? There's my A, but add my flat sign. Okay, number 18 is a little tricky because this note is F, A, C, flat. Now remember, this is one where we are still going to spell a B here, but is it B flat? I mean B sharp? So here, let's find it on the keyboard up here. Here's C. Here's C flat because I go down a half step. So C flat is the same as B. Now I'm going to try to trick you again. We have F, A, C, E sharp. All right, so I'm going to go up a letter name, F. Now I need to figure out whether it's F flat or F natural. So here is E. Right there is E. I'm going up a half step to F. So there is no accidental on that one. And then number 20, B flat. And then flat, I'm going to go up, or I'm going to go down. So remember, down is 2 ledger lines to A, and that'll be a sharp. Okay? Got to get used to drawing those ledger lines. Okay, so there's a lot happening in that, learning how to find your enharmonic tones. The only tricky ones are E and F. E sharp is F, F flat is E, and B and C. B sharp is C, C flat is B. And if you kind of just get that in your head, it's really pretty simple to figure out. All right, let's go ahead and go on to the second page of lesson 22. So what I'm doing here is reviewing half steps. Okay, you remember that a half step is the distance from one key to the next. Okay, just easy. If I went up a half step from C, it would be C sharp. If I went down a half step from G, it would be G flat. So write the name of the note that is up or down a half step indicated by the arrows. So number 21, C up a C half step is C sharp. F up a half step is F sharp. Pretty easy. If you go up a half step, you kind of use the sharp note name. Okay? So D up a half step is D sharp. The only difference is if you had an E or a B, going up a half step would not be a sharp. All right? 24. B down a half step is B flat. E down a half step is E flat. A down a half step is A flat. So that's pretty simple. That's just kind of a quick review just to remind you that up and down half steps are flats or sharps. All right, now a whole step. A whole step is equal to 2 half steps. Go figure. So if this note is my first note, if C is my first note, up a whole step, half is here, whole is there, that would be a D. Okay, it also works on the E. If I go up a whole step, remember a half step is here, a whole step is here. Okay, and it works the same on accidentals. Okay, a whole step between 2 accidentals is just an X accidental. All right, so number 27, I'm going to mark an X on the key that is up a whole step. So here, this first note, half, half, boom. Okay, next note is E flat. I'm going to go up and then up, boom, right? And then here, up and up, boom. Okay, so if you know how to count to 2, or if you know what half steps are and you can add 2 half steps together, this is really tough stuff. All right, and number 28, what we're going to do is write the name of the note that is up or down a whole step from the given note. Okay, when going up by whole steps, always use the next letter name. So if I'm starting on D flat and I go up a whole step, it's E flat, not D sharp. Okay, so use the next letter in the alphabet and then figure out whether that's flat or sharp. So C up to D is a whole step, F. So on your imaginary keyboard in your head, if I go F and then I go up a half step is F sharp, and then I go up another half step is G, okay, and that's G natural. D in your head, D, E flat, E, or D sharp. And now 31, I'm going down. So F, down a half step is E, down another half step is E flat. Not D sharp because I'm using the next letter. So D down a whole step is D, half step, C. Okay, so not incredibly tricky. If you can visualize a keyboard in your head, not that I don't have keyboards on this page, but if you can visualize it in your head, then you can do these half steps and whole steps very, very simple. All right, if you have that down, I'll join you in the next lesson.